was a 20-year-old college student at the time, living alone in a fourth-floor unit of a worn-out perched atop a steep hill near my campus. It was final exam season, so I had been wrestling with major textbooks at the library until late, finally heading home around 2 a.m. As luck would have it, the elevator was under maintenance that day, forcing me to climb the pitch-black stairs floor by floor. The hallway lights, seemingly at the end of their lifespan, flickered ominously with a nauseating buzzing sound, and a heavy, damp silence hung over the entire floor like a shroud. I had just barely reached my door on the fourth floor and was fumbling through my bag for my keys when I spotted her. A woman huddled in front of the door to Unit 404 next door. Her body bent so unnaturally it was hard to make out her form. The moment I saw her back, sitting there motionless on the freezing hallway floor, a sharp chill ran down my spine. She was wearing a faded one-piece dress, her pale neck exposed through strands of disheveled hair. Thinking she might just be a drunk, I held my breath and tried not to provoke her, reaching out to punch in my door code. But at that exact moment, she snapped her head up with eerie speed and snatched my wrist so hard I could feel the very bones of her fingers.
The key. Give me the key. My baby is inside.
Her hand was ice cold, and her eyes, staring blankly at me, were completely out of focus, wandering through the empty air. Terrified, I let out a scream, shook off her grip, and bolted into my room, slamming the door shut. Moments later, a series of violent thuds, bang, 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 shook the door as if it were about to splinter, followed by her desperate, agonizing shriek.
Open up! This is my house! My baby is burning! Why are you in there?
I collapsed against the door, sliding down to the floor as I trembled uncontrollably, dialing the police while the madness outside showed no sign of stopping. About 10 minutes had passed since my call, when the distant wail of sirens began to reach my ears. I heard the urgent thumping of police boots echoing through the hallway, but then a piercing short scream was followed by the heavy, chaotic thuds of something tumbling down the stairs. When the world outside suddenly fell silent, I opened the door with agonizing caution, my heart thumping as if it might burst. There, at the bottom of the hallway stairs, lay the woman in a grotesquely contorted position, completely unconscious. Dark, crimson blood was seeping from her head, staining the cold cement floor. While the police hurriedly called for an ambulance, I stood there gripping the staircase railing, my entire body shaking violently from a mix of nameless bewilderment and a crushing sense of guilt, wondering if this tragedy could have been avoided, if only I had opened the door. After the chaos settled, the police began examining the belongings from her worn-out bag left at the scene and discovered an old, faded diary. The story I heard through them was nothing short of tragic. Exactly 10 years ago, she had been an ordinary mother living in the very same unit, 404, where I live now. A massive fire of unknown origin had broken out back then. She lost her young daughter in the flames and suffered severe brain damage herself from smoke inhalation and a fall. Due to the trauma, her memory was eternally frozen on that horrific night, the moment she was desperately rushing home to save her child. Every year, on the anniversary of her daughter's death or her birthday, she would suffer a mental breakdown and return to her old home, now occupied by a stranger, crying out for someone to open the door so she could save her daughter. The moment she grabbed my wrist wasn't a threat. It was a desperate, agonizing struggle to reach a child trapped in a fire. She was rushed to the ER and eventually transferred to a long-term care facility on the outskirts of town, which was the last time I ever saw her. Even after learning her heartbreaking story, the fear in my heart didn't vanish so easily. The icy chill that tightened around my wrist that night and those surreal, wailing screams that pounded against my door haunted me every night like auditory hallucinations. In the end, less than a month later, when I climbed the stairs late at night, I'm still plagued by visions of someone huddled in the dark corners. Since that incident, I've developed a chronic trauma. I can no longer sleep peacefully unless I'm in a high-rise apartment with strictly enforced security. Somewhere, I don't have to worry about encountering a neighbor with only a single wall between us.